Many thanks for joining us on another episode of Energy and You. It's a weekly show of development within the energy sector that looks through the activities of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited. On this episode, energy experts canvass more funding to facilitate Africa's energy transition amidst call for a stronger commitment to gas utilization. And Antan Producing Ltd, a subsidiary of NNPC Limited, records significant boost in crude production shortly after takeover from Addax Petroleum Limited. Details of these and more on today's program. I'm Egosa Igumbo. Thank you for joining us. Let's get details of news trending on the global energy space this week. Oil prices eased at the beginning of the week as a stronger US dollar and economic concerns in China weighed on the outlook for fuel demand. But extended supply cuts by Saudi Arabia and Russia helped keep Brent above $90 a barrel. Brent crude fell 15 cents to $90.50 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $87.08 a barrel. That's down 43 cents. Oil prices have gained in the past 2 consecutive weeks, with Brent settling at its highest since November, after Saudi Arabia and Russia announced last week they will extend voluntary supply cuts of a combined 1.3 million barrels per day until the end of the year. However, the International Energy Agency and the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, are due to release their monthly reports this week, and any sign of strong demand will likely push oil prices higher. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, recently participated at the Global Conference and Exhibition for Gas, LNG and the Energy Industries, GasTech 2023, which held in Singapore. The annual event was a platform for energy experts and policymakers to shed light and proffer solutions on the evolving energy market and the strategic initiatives being pursued to navigate the rapidly changing energy landscape.
At a panel session with the theme, Securing and Strategically Deploying the Multi-Trillion-Dollar Investments Needed to Achieve Net Zero Goals, the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mr. Mele Kyari, who was represented by the Chief Strategy and Sustainability Officer of the company, Mrs. Oritemeiwa Eyesan, deliberated on key challenges associated with the transition from fossil fuels to cleaner energy sources for the African region, emphasizing the need for a balanced and integrated approach to achieve sustainable growth and mitigate climate change.
There must be some enhancement to put me on the same pedestal with everybody else and give me access to financing to ensure that I transit at my own pace, which is, we've talked about gas as our sole vehicle for the transition. So how do you help me unlock the gas resources, not only for the needs of Europe, but also for the local needs? When I talk about gas, I talk about electrification, I talk about industrialization, I talk about the entire, works. So that access, I think, cannot be compromised.
Highlighting the critical role that financing and equitable access to green finance play in achieving global net zero goals, Eyesan talked about the significance of collaboration among industry players, governments, and international organizations to address global energy challenges and ensuring energy justice for all regions, particularly the African region.
These regional development banks should be charged to fund, but then, like today, we work with the Afrexim Bank, who supports most of our financing. But I think the size that they can bring to the table is really constrained, and we really need to stretch out and see where we can get additional support. So yes, the regional banks should be enabled to support the entire transition for the region. But that notwithstanding, that doesn't mean that venture capital cannot also play in the space.
The Leadership and Strategic session at GasTech 2023 provided a valuable opportunity for industry leaders to share insights on leadership in energy transition and strategic initiatives for a sustainable future for Africa and the globe, as emphases were made on the importance of adaptive leadership, innovation, and collaboration to overcome challenges and harness opportunities in the evolving energy landscape.
Up next is an update on the war on crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism. Take a look.
Across the Niger Delta, the war on crude oil theft is on, and the industry-wide security collaboration continues to record remarkable progress. Between the 2nd and 8th of September 2023, a total of 148 incidents were recorded in Bayelsa, Imo, Rivers, and Delta states. In the past week, 8 illegal connections to major pipelines were uncovered in various locations in Udu East in Delta State, Oporomo 4 in Bayelsa, and Rivers State. Mostly found underground, the illegal connections are attached to major pipelines. In Egorobiri Creek in Rivers State, an illegal connection was done underwater. The evidence is seen floating on the surface. One case of pipeline vandalism was recorded in the past week. Here, visible marks of tools used to cut through pipes is left behind. 4 cases of oil spills were recorded in the past week, including Iba community in Rivers State. 78 illegal refining businesses were destroyed in the past week. In Ajatito, Delta State, a drum used for refining stolen crude is being hammered by operatives of Tantita Security Services. Across Imo, Rivers, Delta, and Bayelsa State, several illegal refining businesses were destroyed, as ovens used for illegal refining were destroyed in Imiringi and Otuasega in Bayelsa State. Locally fabricated tanks used for illegal refining are torn down as seen in various locations. At this illegal refining in Obodo Omadina, drums of freshly refined diesel were discovered. From Oduaha community, Bolo, Omuma, Eche community, Bile, Degema, and Bolobiri in Rivers State, investments in illegal refining businesses were dealt a heavy blow. In this location in Oguta in Imo State, crude oil is being pumped into an oil pit. Also in Oguta, sacks of stolen crude oil were also discovered in an illegal refining site. Several oil pits were discovered across several locations in the Niger Delta's oil-producing region. 8 vehicles conveying stolen crude oil were arrested in Rumuji, Ugeli North, and Warri in Delta State. 14 vessel AIS infractions were also recorded, while 1 vessel was arrested, the MV Ufuama. It was arrested by government security agencies. It was found carrying 57,000 liters of illegally refined diesel at Abuloma Jetty in Rivers State. 34 wooden boats conveying stolen crude were arrested in Gokana, Bile, and Degema in Rivers State. 14 of these incidents were recorded in the Deep Blue Sea, 48 in the Western region, 55 were reported in the Eastern region of the Niger Delta community, and 31 in the Central region. For NNPC Limited, there is no backing down on the war on crude oil theft until the menace is eradicated for good.
Still to come, an exclusive interview with the head of Operations Directorate of Antan Producing Ltd, a subsidiary of NNPC Limited. The discussions are on the progression of Antan operations since its final takeover of 4 oil wells in a production sharing contract agreement with Addax Petroleum Development Nigeria Limited. Details in a moment.
What do we do at NNPC? Since inception as the national oil company of Nigeria, our mandate has been to serve the nation and meeting the energy needs of over 200 million people. Over the years, we have invested in tomorrow's leaders and contributed to the development of communities across the nation. We have grown a network of over 500 service stations. We are the driving force behind the constantly growing Nigerian economy. With an efficient distribution network servicing all parts of the country, we ensure the highest quality standards in our crude refining processes. Nigeria boasts of immense oil and gas reserves which we explore in commercial quantities, providing endless opportunities for economic development. As we drilled for oil, we discovered vast amounts of gas, up to 200 trillion scoop. By harnessing gas, we have reduced gas flaring and invested in liquefaction plants, shipping gas across the globe. Our energy footprint is remarkable. We supply gas to the domestic market for power generation, reaching all across Nigeria. Powering everything, anywhere, and everywhere. NNPC. Energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
You're still watching Energy and You. Just few months after the closing of all obligations on the production sharing contract of oil mining leases blocks 123, 124 and 126, 137 to NNPC Limited, the operator of the fields, Antan Producing Nigeria Limited, has disclosed the company's attainment of a significant boost in its crude oil production. A wholly owned subsidiary of NNPC Limited, Antan's business leaders discussed the milestone achievement and many more in an exclusive interview with Energy and You. Take a look.
Engineer Okwoma Najiofor, who is Antan Producing Limited's head of operations, said the company has achieved a commendable increase in oil production, surging from a modest 7,000 barrels per day to an impressive 23,000 barrels per day in recent weeks. He emphasized that the acquisition of the floating production, storage and offloading vessel played a pivotal role in stabilizing its operations.
To tell you how fast things have moved, that we have last week or thereabout attained 23,000 barrels of oil per day. From 7,000. We have attained 23,000 barrels of oil per day. And we have a plan of growing that production. In fact, this cumulative for all the blocks. Yes. The 7,000 I told you is also from all the blocks. Yes. So, and that is quite significant for us that within this short time, we're able to grow to above 23,000 barrels of oil per day. And part of the thing that also helped us was the takeover of the FPSO, the former FPSO Adun, which is FPSO NIMS.
While shedding more light on the economic value of the assets, Engineer Najiofor noted that plans are being put in place to tap into its substantial gas potential and further grow the company's portfolio.
I would say MD, like like all of us, desire to get back to above 100,000, which this asset have done in the past. And like I mentioned to you, I think it's realizable in a mid-stroke long term.
For the head of business services, Mrs. Victoria Iroro, the remarkable growth of production in the short timeline is attributable to Antan team's unwavering dedication, the support from NNPC Limited's leadership, and mutually beneficial relationships with critical stakeholders.
Right from the beginning, the management made it clear that they were interested in taking up production and also to look after the welfare, to take care of staff welfare. The managing director, engineer Sajiru Jajiri, made it, he interacted with, in fact, he had a town hall meeting. Immediately he came in, had a town hall meeting with all the staff to reassure them of government's intention to run the operation profitably and also to take care of staff welfare.
With this APL's assets production growth trajectory, there is substantial indication of return on investment in Nigeria's energy sector. With the assets production growth trajectory of Antan Producing Nigeria Limited, there is substantial indication of return on investment in Nigeria's energy sector.
With the operationalization of the Petroleum Industry Act, NNPC Limited has the opportunity to reshape its business for optimal performance in line with best global practices. The Act also offers a myriad of hope and opportunities for Nigeria's energy industry, with NNPC Limited at the forefront. In line with these aspirations, the company recently undertook a management facility engagement session to interface with its various business units. This engagement provided an opportunity to superintend over operational efficiency and quality service delivery, while ensuring that the needs of its workers are prioritized. Here's one of such engagements with the NNPC Pipelines and Storage Company at its Calabar depot.
The Management Facility Engagement MFE to the Calabar depot of the NNPC Pipeline Storage Company was led by the Chief Financial Officer NNPC Limited, Mr. Umar Ajia. The other team members comprised of the Chief Health, Safety and Environment Officer, Executive Director Finance, and Management Team of NNPC Engineering and Technical Company Limited, amongst other staff. Mr. Umar Ajia addressed issues around the deregulated oil industry, which has brought about competition and the need for proactiveness in the subsidiaries to ensure quality service delivery, productivity, and operational efficiency.
For us, as a limited liability company, we have resolved that all our businesses must operate not only efficiently and safely, but also profitably. Because you are expected to be self-reliant. Self-reliant in the sense that you will earn your revenues, you will pay for your costs, and we still even expect that you pay dividend to the headquarters, because the headquarters itself is expected to pay dividend 80% of its profit into the federation account. So it's important that you take control of the business. Sometimes management say this is target. You say, for me to deliver this target, these are my requirements as a minimum. Because anyone hot here is your responsibility.
Speaking on the progress of operations in the Calabar depot, the terminal manager, NNPC Pipeline and Storage Company, said that in the last 3 years of operations at the depot, there have been an increase in revenue generation. Other areas of success are improved asset integrity, increased efficiency of the terminal loading from 25% to 70%, as well as restoration of stakeholders' awareness and confidence.
As at 2022, the best we could do was 23 trucks per day. But as at this year, we had loaded 60 trucks in a day. One of the things also I'm happy to tell you is that virtually all the staffs of Calabar Depot are commercially intuitive. because we have tried to, imbibe that idea. And then weekly we have our meetings and we resound it. We have a business moment and also a quality moment every Monday to share ideas and to talk about profitability most especially, and also safety.
Other issues discussed at the facility management engagement were on safety management and the new approach undertaken by NNPC Limited, which aligns with global best practices.
Zero accident, zero incidences, zero LTI, and whatever other measure by which we measure safety, no incidents. That's what we aim at. That's a target. And that's something that we are committing to as a company. Now, the point there is that commitment is one that has to be shared by all.
While at the depot, the team inspected various facilities such as the depot's clinic, loading gantry, offices, safety house, maintenance workshop, and the warehouse. Other areas inspected included the electrical loading panel house, terminal jetty and international seaport safety code, as well as the ISPSC monitoring room. While appreciating the staff for their commitment to the company despite the challenges at hand, the team lead and chief financial officer, Mr. Umar Ajia, expressed displeasure over the state of facilities in the premises and assured of quick intervention by management. The facility management engagement of NNPC subsidiaries no doubt serves as a tool of interaction with frontline workers for a first-hand knowledge of issues affecting efficient operations and optimal service delivery. This will in turn avail NNPC Limited a timely opportunity to address issues in a proactive manner towards the renewed focus of becoming the dynamic energy company of choice.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company NNPC Limited recently participated at the Global Conference and Exhibition for Gas, LNG and the Energy Industries GasTech 2023, which held in Singapore. Here are sights and sound from that event. And with those lovely images from Singapore, we wrap up the show today. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, you can catch up on this and all other episodes of Energy and You by scanning the QR code on your screen now. You can also visit us on all our social media handles and follow us for updates on the activities of NNPC Limited. Let's do this again, same station next week. I'm Egusa Igumbo. Take care.